What's up, everybody? Red Cloud Gamer here. Joining me, as always, my co-host, TheGreenSween. What's up, Sween?
Man, I'm feeling a little bummed about my Philadelphia Eagles today.
Yeah, I mean, they cut their coach. I really didn't see that coming, if I'm being honest. Like, I think he's a good coach. He just got you guys your first Super Bowl, what, 2, 3 years ago? 3 Super Bowls ago?
With a backup quarterback, mind you. And listen, if you want to go beyond that, I mean, he's made the playoffs with a backup quarterback again the year after that and made it pretty deep in the playoffs. Then he made it to the playoffs with the Carson Wentz, who didn't have a receiver that broke 1,000 yards or broke 500, I don't think, correct?
I'd have to check on the stats. I don't keep up on the Eagles as much as I do the Giants.
I believe that's a real stat. Carson Wentz did not have a wide receiver that broke 500 yards and still made the playoffs under a coach named Doug Peterson. So
I just remember Colin Cowherd constantly called all of his receivers like lawn furniture there.
Yeah.
He's throwing deck chairs and lawn furniture.
You know, I think my franchise is going into rebuild. I think Carson's done. I think all that's done. But you know what? Whatever. We'll see what happens. But this isn't a sports podcast now, is it?
I mean, you just kind of made it one for a minute and 10 seconds, but we'll forgive you for it. I get it. You know, you're a little hurt over what happened. So, I can't even talk. My Giants were nowhere near the playoffs. Let's not have this conversation.
The NFC East is in rebuild. The whole division.
The NFC least. All right, moving on to gaming. Or you know what? Before we actually get on to games, we both did a giveaway this week, right? You did one $25 Xbox gift card, if I'm remembering.
Yeah, and you did $50 to PlayStation for your birthday, which just passed. Happy birthday again, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mine actually got a little bit messed up. You know, I posted the card, like a picture of the card, saying I'm doing a giveaway. And I wanted people to retweet the tweet, follow, and whatnot. You know, the normal stuff. And comment their New Year's gaming resolution. You remember mine, my primary one is to beat 12 games. By the way, I already beat one. South Park and the Stick of Truth is done. So I've only got 11 more to go and 350 days or so to do it. So I think I'm on a good pace.
You've been telling me about that, and it seems like you had a lot of fun with it. And it seems like you're actually ready to move on to the second one, or you might play another game between, but you seem like you're looking forward at least to playing the second one.
I am definitely looking forward to playing the second one, but I am also going to play a game in between. I was on Twitter asking some people what they thought I should do, Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Dragon Quest, and the first response was to go for Odyssey. So after we're done here, actually, and I get this uploaded, I'm going to start Odyssey tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, back to my giveaway. I had posted this $50 card, and I didn't post that it was U.S. only. So, you know, everyone was responding. I think I got a bunch of likes. I think like 30 retweets or something. So I went on to that web tool that we found, the mini web tool for random name picker. Yeah, you used it for yours too, right?
Sure did.
Yeah, so I went on there. It picked a guy that had followed me, retweeted, and, you know, followed all the rules, commented and whatnot. And when I reached out to him, he asked if he could get it in, you know, the UK, because he's from the UK. And I mean, it was a US card I bought, but I didn't say that, so I didn't want to be like, oh, hey, my bad, man, I guess you didn't actually win. So I was like, let me just look into seeing how I can grab a 50 pound card, because, you know, that's how their money is over there. I found out it's a lot harder to buy a gift card from another country. Like, it doesn't like that you have an address in the U.S., then you create, like, a VPN and whatnot. And it's like, oh, well, your bank card is in the U.S., and your bank will stop it, and all sorts of stuff. So I ended up just going on to PayPal, and I sent him the money directly. So I actually still have the $50 card. After this podcast, before I go to Odyssey, I'm going to do my giveaway. I actually have it queued up, unless anyone else retweets before we're done recording. So I did the giveaway, and I just gave him the money directly, but it left me with the card. I know you had thought that I might just use the card for myself, but I have all the PlayStation games I'm looking for right now. So I'm going to give the card away still. I got a couple more retweets off of it, so we'll see what happens. Yours went a little bit smoother than mine, right?
Well, mine actually went a lot smoother than my first time, because you remember my first time was a little bit unsuccessful. We had somebody ungrateful for the New Year's giveaway, so I was hoping we could get a little bit more. I went a little bit different with how I did the giveaway, like you said, using the tool, you know, to sort the names and everything. And
as opposed to literally putting the names in a hat, or I'm sorry, a switch case.
And folding every name live while I'm at work on the clock.
Yeah.
No, but I decided to have a conversation with the person prior to giving the code, and they seemed like a very decent person. They actually were in the giveaway the week before. I ended up seeing afterwards, and they had a dope little Star Wars picture, a little Boba Fett action. Mando TAMC, big shout out to him for winning again. That's awesome. Did a nice little picture and sent it and said thank you very much. Was very appreciative. So it's times like that you feel really good about your giveaways, and I'm definitely going to stick with that format for this week's giveaway. Wait, what? This week's giveaway? Yeah, this week's giveaway. Yeah, a little shadow drop here right now. It's coming out today. No, it's we're gonna do it again Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That time has been very successful for me. I've been having Fridays off. And I'm gonna lean the Nintendo direction. Obviously, I'm a Nintendo focused kind of guy. I mean, look at that picture. Who's that playing the Switch? That's me, So
There's some guy that needs a haircut.
Yeah, nah. It's too cold for a haircut right now, man. You got to give me some time here. Nintendo, though, I do want to go with Nintendo, but I don't want to lose my love for Xbox. Let's face it, Nintendo loves Microsoft. Microsoft loves Nintendo, right? There's been a little bit of a love affair going on between Minecraft, Ori, and the game that we're going to be giving away for the Nintendo Switch this week is going to be Cuphead. And it's also a game I'm going to grab and play through myself because I did not get to play Cuphead. And I look at that game and I'm like, how did I miss that on Xbox?
All right, some advice, man. If you're playing Cuphead on your Switch, keep your Switch on the dock and use your Pro Controller because you're going to get mad and you might throw something. And don't let it be your Switch.
Yeah, I will never throw my Switch.
A lot of people don't know that Cuphead is actually the subtitle. The main title is Dark Souls. It's a Dark Souls game. No, it really is hard, though. You'll die a lot. But it's a lot of fun. I played it on Xbox when it first came out. I had a blast. The kids played it. They yelled a little bit. One of them yelled more than me. One of them yelled less. But none of them threw things. I was the only one who did that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, we're recording this on a Monday, and we'll probably post this tomorrow on Tuesday, and then I'll do the giveaway on Friday. So all days I'm off. Those are my days off. But talk to me, man. What have you been playing lately, man?
Well, I mean, like I say pretty much every week, I play a lot of Duty, so that's always going to come up. This actually, anyone that's watching this video in the background is TheGreenSween here. You can see his name on there. Playing the Monster Hunter Rise demo. I'm sure we're going to get to talking about that, but I did play a little of it. I can't wait to hear what you think about it, because you obviously played more than me. You sent me over an hour of footage for it. I think I only played about 10, 15 minutes. But yeah,
I got 15 out of 30 tries left, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, you played half of it.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Duty. I was a lot more on multiplayer this week. I got a couple of guys from work. We had a full team, went through. We had a blast, When it's working, it's a really fun game. You know how Call of Duty is, that multiplayer cycle, go into a game, get a bunch of kills, die a couple times, use your score streaks, and then wash, rinse, repeat. And when you have a good team, especially people that are communicating, you have a blast with it. I think we won like 80% of our games playing together. Two of the guys on my team from work, I would say, I don't know where I would rank like who's better than who. The one guy, Angwar, he had a lot more kills than us. Like one game on Nuketown, I think he had 70 kills. But he also had like 55 deaths. So I've always paid a lot more attention to my KD. And I want like the most positive KD I can have. Like that game, I think I was like 25-4. And he was like 75 and I think 51 or 52. So like we were both a similar number of positive kills. But my KD was significantly higher. And my score was actually higher because I had like a longer streak of kills, whereas his were coming like 2, 3 at a time, and then death, 2, 3 at a time, and then death. But like our team is really varied like that. Like he gets a lot of kills, and keeps the other team from getting too many score streaks too fast. I tend to get score streaks pretty quick with nice long kill streaks, and we've got a couple guys that mostly just run around and get tags for us and die a few times more than we normally would. But it was a good time. We played a little Warzone. I suck at Warzone, but we did have a top 10 finish, so that was cool. I wasn't really a big part of that. I think I got 2 kills.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I was on South Park. I told you that my plan was to beat 12 games this year at least. And South Park is a game that I was really excited for, because I like Obsidian. I always liked Obsidian, so when they did the game in the first place, I wanted to play it, and then for some reason, I barely played. I mean, I think I might have done the tutorial back then on 360, and then I never really touched it again. And I just, with this whole, I'm going to beat 12 games, and I mean, like, 12, I'm not counting, like Call of Duty campaigns, you know, I want 12 games that have meaningful, lengthy campaigns, and I know South Park's only about a 15-hour game, but I'm counting it anyway. You know, Call of Duty is like 5, maybe 6 hours. That doesn't count.
Right.
So I ran through it. I got a lot. I think I got a little more than half of the achievements. There are some that annoyed me. I didn't realize that there were certain things, like simpler things, that you can miss, and then if you miss, you can never do them again. You have to restart the whole game. Like,
Really?
yeah, like one of them is like you got to fart on 4 major authority figures, and it's like the mayor. Yeah, you know.
You were
South
telling
Park.
me some of those achievements, and I was cracking up at my job, man. It was funny.
It's like you got to fart on the mayor, the teacher, the prime minister. And I don't remember the 4th one, but the Prime Minister you only see once, and the second you talk to him, that's it, he's leaving. So if you don't fart on him before you talk to him, you'll never see him again. And I didn't know about this achievement because I didn't look at them in advance. I normally play through a game, try to get as many achievements as I can, and then afterwards I look back at the list and say, okay, what can I run back through for? But that would require an entire second playthrough. I probably eventually will do one. But being I'm trying to tackle beating 12 games, I'm not going to play through that again until after I've finished my other 12 games. And like I said, I am going to delay South Park 2 and jump into Odyssey. So it'll be a little while before I go back to South Park.
Definitely.
And other than that, I played some Monster Hunter Rise, which you're going to talk more about than me. I tried the trial, the demo. You know, I did the tutorial. I think it's impressive for a Switch title. I don't think it's impressive if it was on any other hardware. They did bring some cool things in with like the wire bug, the being able to leap, and like essentially putting in kind of a double jump, triple jump system, which is cool. And I got to see you riding some bigger beasts, which was dope.
I think we're gonna see that in a second, actually, after this bear starts. Oh my god, he just rips me and throws me right there. But
yeah, that definitely looked fun.
Yeah, dude.
The graphics are impressive. I just find that the textures, as always on Switch, are the thing that really get me. Like, you know, the character model looks solid, but if you look at like the ground texture, it's a little soupy. The vegetation doesn't fill out like
you can see that guy's on that one. I think I get him here. Yeah, watch this. Here we go. So he was on that one, and then I just take control, take the reins, bang.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's definitely, yeah.
It's a good game. It's a good game. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I think without an upgrade to the Switch's hardware, it's probably a game that I'll skip, and I'll just go back to Monster Hunter World instead. Just because I've developed a habit of, you know, not being able to handle lower resolution games. It tends to bother my eyes.
And listen, if you're in, I mean, any games for the graphics, of course you're going to take Monster Hunter World because that is the obsolete graphic. And, you know, that is the obsolete graphic game, and that's completely understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I want this game to look better. If they drop a Switch Pro and give me a 1080p at least with some better textures, I'll give this a go. But, you know, playing it, especially when I was playing on the handheld itself, I noticed some issues with the resolution, with the textures. And I think you and I were looking at how... you know, like the circle where the textures stay at high quality, the level of detail, it's very, very close to the player. You know, like it's not that far before you get those soupy textures you see in the background right now.
Right.
You know, most games I play, you can probably get all of that background with the higher res textures.
No, I totally I see what you're talking about, far in the distance, and I totally get that. I just, you know, I focus on the center point of a game, you know what I mean? A lot of times. It depends on the game, but a game like this where I'm fighting big monsters like this, I mean, listen, I completely get your standpoint. Well, hold on. First of all, before we even dive into that, because we got to talk about what I've been playing, because this isn't the only game I played, you know? So I want to dive into Monster Hunter a little deeper when I get to that. But let me tell you before...
Hang on a second. As I'm looking at your video here, I'm seeing this stutter as you're moving. It's very consistent. It's like every 10 feet you walk, there's a clear stuttered frame, like a full-on dropped frame.
Yes.
And like that's what I mean. Like I can deal with, you know, not great graphics, as long as it's presented well. I still play some classic games here and there. Like I'm actually midway through Final Fantasy VII on the Xbox One. I revisit it every week or two.
And then you see right here in the combat, it just stops.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
so
seeing
weird.
none of it here. But when you were moving, that stutter, oof, I couldn't do that.
I do want everybody to take note of that, and we will touch that one after I talk about my games I've been playing, and we will talk about all that. But games I've been playing, first of all, a little bit of Rocket League with my buddy Justin. Shout out to Justin. Awesome dude. He's been keeping up on the podcast.
Dude, you got to play some Rocket League with me. I've got so many people on Twitter telling me that I have to play Rocket League, and you know me, I never played it. It's like a bunch of my friends got into it right away, and I was playing something else, or I was busy at work, or for whatever reason I didn't play with them. And then they kind of got out of it. Excuse me. And it's a game that I can't play without someone I know to play with me and kind of show me the ropes, you know?
Yeah, well, maybe me and my buddy will have to get some footage for the next podcast, and maybe it'll get you a little hyped if we get some good action going in on there, huh?
Yeah, make sure it's good footage. We'll throw it up, and maybe you will get me excited to get into this game. Now, that's full-on crossplay, right? I can play on my Xbox with you guys.
Anything, yep.
That's what I thought.
Yep. He plays on Xbox, I play on Switch.
Yeah, I know that there's some games that have crossplay that, like, don't count the Switch. You know, the Switch version isn't involved, and I don't want to play it on the Switch.
Epic Games bought out Rocket League, and Epic Games has just done a phenomenal job. You know, I know they get a lot of stuff for their microtransactions, but you know what? They really shouldn't, because they don't affect the game. They're completely optional, and Epic Games is constantly pumping out free games that I could play with my friends. I mean, I just think that's a great experience, and I understand they think like kids are only playing.
Yeah, they made Rocket League free. You know, obviously Fortnite. What's the Monster Hunter one that me and you were supposed to play and then we didn't? Dauntless. There we go. Yeah. Relevant because of what we're watching. That game was actually pretty dope too. Relevant. I played that with Matt and Sean a lot.
And it's a free game where you can optionally make your character look better and get cool armors if you want to, and you don't have to.
And dude, microtransactions are a part of gaming now. I'm gonna be honest. I was talking about playing Duty, and I played a lot. I've spent more on the COD points and the skins and whatever than I did on the game. I don't care. As long as you don't make it something that I have to progress in the game, I'm still happy with it. I'll either buy it or I won't.
Forget that, though. I don't want it to be even to the point where this can help you progress in the game. And this is why you see games, honestly, I know this is a little bit of an irrelevant game that we don't talk about a lot, but RuneScape. I don't know if you know too much, but there's RuneScape 3 and then there's old school RuneScape. Do you know that or no? Not really?
You've mentioned old school RuneScape to me,
So they made '07 graphics because people didn't like what RuneScape did. What they did is you could spend real money and you can like get free spins to get like XP lamps and everything like that and level up in the game. And you know, the Star Wars had the same problem where you can have all these items for the online early if you spent the money. I don't like when you can be a better player in the game because you spent the money to be better.
Yeah, pay to win. No, I hate pay to win. It's
pay to win is not good. And Epic Games in general does a very good job of not doing that. So they really shouldn't get that criticism where we live in a world that happens.
I like where, you know, microtransactions enhance your experience, you know, make you personalize your character better, but don't actually give you any legitimate advantage. Like in Call of Duty, I get different skins, I get different stickers and you know, camos for my gun, and you unlock these finishers. I think there's only one in the game, then you get one from like the battle pass, and then some of the skin packs come with one. It's the same thing as any other finisher. It's just a different animation. Like I've got one with the sledgehammer where it's called nail driver, and you like hit someone in the back of the head, and then when they fall, you do like a full-on John Henry sledgehammer swing right down on top of their head, and then you go right back to playing. But like I could still execute you without that move. I just like using that one.
So you can see I kind of like went over all the weapons right here. Yeah, I'll tell you, this battle I'm doing right here, this big monster, the Mitsu, I don't know how you say that, honestly,
it's not easy to say them.
No. This one was hard, dude. I failed it probably my first 4 times. This is
you know, I didn't get that far into Monster Hunter World, but like it was pretty clear early on that you need a team with some of the monsters. You are not going to do well with just randoms or, dare I say, by yourself.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is my this was my 3rd take of the footage. I don't know if you realized when I dropped it, it said V3.
I did,
because V1 was me really figuring out the classes. I didn't like a lot of the footage. I got a little lost. I'm not going to lie. This is my first Monster Hunter game ever. You got to expect me just diving into it. I'm not going to know too much. And
You mean you weren't like a god at this the first time you turned it on?
no, but you know, I am used to like the RPG style of game. So I did kind of, you'll see I adapted to it pretty fast. I mean, I got a pretty good idea of things. You'll see in this mission, I go right for one of these giant beasts, and then I take it over immediately and go right to the big beast. But so Rocket League's been one of them. I turned on Immortals for another 4 hours.
Right, you were telling me how much you liked Immortals.
Yeah, I think
I remember you got Immortals, and you were telling me that you weren't even certain you were going to be that into it. You were kind of getting it more so we could have comparison footage here.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you. I read a lot into the criticism, and a lot of people say this game is a clone of Breath of the Wild, and I want a lot of people to know that they are completely wrong, and they have not picked up this game and played this game enough.
That's not really what I've heard much on the game. Like, everyone tells me that it looks like Breath of the Wild, that it's clearly, I don't know if you'd say inspired or even go as far as saying ripping off its art style. But in gaming, that's kind of something that happens. They say that, you know, copying is the sincerest form of flattery in a gaming world. It's like saying you already did it better than I can, so I'll just do it like you did. But, yeah, most of what I heard is not so much copying Breath of the Wild beyond the visuals. It's kind of like a perfect merger of Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild between, like, combat and puzzles. And it's obviously the Assassin's Creed Odyssey team, so that makes sense.
So, yeah, I just went right on him completely, right for him, got him, bang, yeah, I knew right where I was going. Yeah, the Wyvern riding, dude, it's been fun. I found my class. Sword and Shield is definitely what I'm going to roll going into this game.
You're just doing that because of Pokemon. Shush.
No, I like playing tanks in a lot of games. I'm really good at using the shield and like defending at the right times and playing smart instead of like going aggressive.
What the heck is that thing?
That is the Mitsushun. I don't know how you say it. Yeah, you'll see later in the gameplay footage. I actually end up taking that over on the second time I do this mission, so that's pretty sick. But I don't take it over on this one, but I do end up taking it over the second time. But yeah, that thing is just the designs on these monsters. You can really tell Capcom just gives great support.
Oh yeah, Switch. Dude, the monsters in all the Monster Hunter games I've always thought were amazing.
Yeah.
No, some of the ones in Monster Hunter World, I had to stop and just look at for a minute. Like, oh my goodness.
And here you can see I use the monster Punisher, so he'll like jump on them and then he'll jump off, and then they're gonna fight a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They introduced a lot of cool stuff in here, and I look forward to seeing it in you know, another Monster Hunter World expansion or maybe a Monster Hunter World sequel on PS5 and Series X. I don't think that game has actually gotten a PS5 or Series X patch, although it does run significantly better on them.
Yeah, bro, and I'm not a hater. I would personally, I would love to see the wire bug and Wyvern Ride and make it into the, you know, all the games. I mean, this is a great feature. I think it's awesome. I think I've had really a lot of fun with the Wyvern Rider, more than the wire bug. But I mean, still, you know, it's unique. The wire bug I'm starting to get used to too, though, using the recoveries and everything with it. Yo, this game is really deep in the combat, and it really makes you think about what you're doing and when you want to use those wire bugs. You know, you can't see it because our picture. That's okay. There's no problem. There's usually 2 little symbols for the wire bug. Once you use it, they just run out and then they kind of replenish, like a 15-second cooldown.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the movement ones are 1, and then that special attack that makes me Wyvern attack uses 2. You can pick up a +1 wire bug that lasts for like a couple minutes, but it goes away over time. Yeah, just a little quick explanation. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty basic cooldown kind of stuff.
You know, I'm sure a lot of people are out there having fun with this right now. I know you were impatiently waiting for the demo. You were at work, really upset because I kind of messed with you twice and told you it was up when it wasn't. And then when I was like, yo, it's actually really up, you were like, no, it's not. You're just lying to me.
I don't get Wi-Fi in my section of work. I literally brought my Switch to a section of my work that's shut down, and I hid my Switch and left it to download so I could get as much.
He was like, if it's not there this time, we're not friends anymore, man.
Yo, it got through 40% of the download. It only took me 5 minutes when I got home. It was like at like an hour 40. My Wi-Fi at work sucks.
Well, I'm sure that they're not planning on anyone gaming.
So a shocking game that you probably haven't know I've been playing that I played till 5:30 in the morning last night, and you heard that right. I played this game till 5:30. Yo, I finished Pokemon's Crown Tundra DLC.
You
I
didn't finish
realized
that already?
I kind of realized it. I didn't catch Calyrex like I did most of Reggie's. Yeah, I didn't finish it, dude. I caught the 3 legendary birds. I didn't finish it. I didn't do the tournament, nothing. And I did finish it last night. I looked at the clock. It was 5:30 in the morning. I couldn't believe it because like the last time I looked, it was 2:30 because I was checking to see if you got this footage 100%. But yeah, I finished Pokemon's DLC, and I gotta tell you, dude, the Crown Tundra was better than the entire game. They really showed a little bit more potential with that. I don't want to dive too deep into that. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until we get some Pokemon news to dive deep on that, but we'll talk about it another time. But yeah, I have been playing Pokemon.
I'm looking at your footage again. I'm sorry. We're gonna come right back to Pokemon. This lag thing is back. I didn't see this.
There.
I only played a little bit, but I didn't see this stutter when I played.
We got one more. All right, you know what? Just guess the other game besides Monster Hunter Rise. First of all, just guess the other game.
I'm not guessing. You're telling. Tell me,
dude. What game have I been playing for weeks? What game am I gonna put a lot of hours?
Breath of the Wild.
Year? I've been playing Breath of the Wild. Come on, I put another 10 hours into it this
guys,
week.
He's gonna tell you that he loves the game that we've all known was amazing for 4 years. He just happened to get onto it recently.
Well, no, I beat the story and I played the game, but now I'm diving really deep into the game. I got
you're doing the Master Trials, right? Didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, I still haven't finished the Master Trials, but I've been doing a lot of side quests. I mean, dude, I've been doing like every quest I run into. That's what I mean. I've really been playing the game. Like, not like a little BS. Oh, I'll do a quest here and there. Like, I'm literally not YouTubing anything. I'm exploring the game step by step. I'm finding things, and I'm finding a lot of cool things that, like, dude, the other day, you would probably have to YouTube this normally. I'm on the edge of a mountain, right? And it's like I can't go any further, but then I go a little bit to the right, and then I get up on this cliff. I start riding a damn bear. I mounted a bear. I'm riding through a bear on the mountains in Zelda. I didn't even know you could do this.
I didn't either. I'm going to be happy to know that when I actually start playing the game. That's on my list of 12, so... Well, now my list of 11.
Right, 11 to go. You're ahead.
Yeah, you can see I get South Park's a shorter one, though, and now that I'm jumping into Odyssey, that's a 40-hour game, so...
You could see I just got poisoned by that wyvern. My health went purple. You got to switch between, you got to press the L stick and press A to go over and go to your antidotes, to press Y to drink it and sheath your weapon. Dude, it's deep. Like, I love it. I really, and there you go. I'm on the wyvern.
Oh, yeah, I saw this part when I was skimming through the footage earlier. This is pretty cool. Again, that stutter is there. Come on, tell me about the stutter.
So I did my research on the stutter, and a lot of people have reported the stutter. And so this is interesting because I was curious, how am I stuttering when I'm walking around this world, but I get into combat? Ready? Here we go. Combat. Everything is fluent again. How? Right? So I do my research, and I found out a lot of people are having this problem, and it's due to a glitch in the demo from having too many friends on your friends list.
Stop this. I'm about to grab my Switch, pause this podcast, and see. You don't even have that many friends. Stop it.
I have about 80, 90.
I was just messing with you. Calm down.
Oh.
He doesn't have 80 or 90 friends in real life. These are fake people he made up on the internet.
Right. I just randomly added them. I joined the Facebook friend forums, and then I just pretend I have friends.
That sounds like him. He might have paid some of them. You guys should look into this.
Yeah, I'm being investigated. I'm Doug Peterson.
Comes back to the Eagles. All right.
All right. No, but so I guess that's what's going on. Here's the good news: is it's January, and like
this doesn't come out to the end of March, right? You told me 26th.
Yeah, and you said, let's face it, this isn't a demo; it's a beta. We could call it a demo, but this is Monster Hunter testing things. And here's a positive thing: is I'm seeing the combat, and the combat was flawless. I mean, I did not see any dips when I was in combat, and it was so weird for me, but. I don't know. The combat felt fluent. I didn't feel like anything caused me to mess up anything. Fluid, sorry.
He's going to yell at me for that when we get off the podcast, guys.
I'm not going to yell at you for it.
I'm like, why are you correcting me on the podcast? Red Cloud Gamer is a jerk. He drew this picture of me once. He's a jerk.
Listen, folks, I don't got the best grammar in the world, but my passion's there. And at the end of the day, look at me riding a pallet mute. What a beast. No, but listen, we talked about this, and you said that this is a dope game for the Switch, and, you know, you would probably stick to Monster Hunter World, and that's completely understandable for you. you're a graphics guy and you like how the game looks, and that's your main perspective, and I completely understand that. But you cannot deny the fact
I would
that
not call it my main perspective, no.
I
I've played games with so many graphic styles. I just need smooth presentation. Right now, what I'm seeing doesn't look good with the stutter. Why didn't I see this? I don't have that many friends. Is that what you're saying? Are you playing with the God of War? The God of War is running up ahead of you. Kratos is on the screen.
There he is.
Little crossover we didn't know about?
Yeah, I didn't even realize he was in my game. I can't believe it.
That doesn't look like Kratos. The graphics in this are bad.
Yeah, you could see this. That's funny. You're funny, dude. Yeah, I'll tell you, this mission was hard. You could see this guy does not go down with the ease. We've been fighting him for a little.
When I was still playing Monster Hunter World, we had some like 4-player teams going after monsters where it took 30 minutes to beat a monster. They're not always easy. Sometimes they're like multi-stage battles where you gotta like break off some of their armor and like it's nuts.
But you cannot deny that this game has some really awesome, unique gameplay. You could see that recovery right there with the wire bug. I waste a wire bug, and it gets me away from the enemy faster. Now, he has a move that can also disable that, so you can't recover like that, and you're at half health, and then
you're doing like single-digit damage here. You're not that good.
I'm a tank, and you want to aim for his neck, but you also don't want to get murdered by him. I go for the belly.
No, you know what? This game, I played only a little bit. No, I don't normally play demos very long. I play just long enough to really get a feel for whether or not it's something I want to play the actual game. Especially when it's a demo where the progress doesn't carry over. I played too many of those where I put some time in and then ended up having to restart an entire game. I didn't like that. But I thought this was good. I'm not going to tell you that I won't play it. I would choose Monster Hunter World over this. But like, if you say, hey, Jay, grab Monster Hunter Rise and we'll play together on your day off, I'll probably grab this and we'll run through some missions together. I won't play it as much as I would, a 4K 60 frame per second, especially 60 frames. That's the thing that's getting me the most of this, that the frame rate is inconsistent at some spots. And I can deal with 30 frames. I prefer 60, and obviously if you can get higher than that, that's nice. I can't deal with inconsistent frame rates. That pisses me off.
I understand that. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
and hopefully the final game is more consistent. Again, this is, like I said, a beta.
Right, and I mean, Capcom, I feel like, has done a great job supporting the Switch, and I think they'll get this all touched up. I mean, when I'm looking at the combat, this game does look really, really good. I mean, this might be the best looking, combat Switch game like this we have by far.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I think it does look worse than the early video we saw that I said I thought was potentially on a better Switch. But it still looks better than I thought it would look on a regular Switch.
Agreed completely. I thought this thing would not run well on the regular Switch, and I got to give credit. It really did run well. I hope they fix that frame dip. As long as they fix that, this is really going to be a top game for me in 2021, and this is going to be a really enjoyable experience.
If it's anywhere near as deep as Monster Hunter World, it might be a top game for you in 2022. I know people that are still sinking more time into Monster Hunter World than they are brand new games.
Well, I grew up a big RuneScape World of Warcraft fan. We've talked about that a lot, and I mean, it's not the same thing. It's not an MMORPG, but it's that style of RPG, taking on big monsters with a class with my friends, and I like that. I like that style of game. I mean,
if it's anything like Monster Hunter World, they're gonna put events into this. I don't know if you know, they did like.
Oh no way! Really? This is all new to me. This is a new world that I'm opening entirely.
So they just released a Monster Hunter movie that the reviews are not great on, but it's got Mila Djokovic, who was in the Resident Evil movies. Actually, your little cartoon on the screen kind of looks like her with a beard, by the way. But there's a crossover in Monster Hunter World where you can like unlock her character model and some of her weapons from the movie to play in the game. And they had some earlier on where you could get like some Street Fighter costumes. I believe there was one very early that kind of matched up with the style, where you could get, only on PlayStation, you could get Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's sick.
Yeah, and they do these, like, they're like events, like special big quests that you have to complete the entire quest, and then you unlock dope costumes, weapons. It just...
Yeah, I just have one question for you. Ready for this? Does Link make it to Monster Hunter Rise for the Zelda 35th?
I didn't even think of that until you just said that. No
I know.
question, if that happens, I have to play through this game to get that.
Yo, I mean,
No
what an idea on
question.
the spot,
That has to
right?
happen right away. I might take a week off of work.
I might take a week off of work. I love it, man. No, listen, I'm really excited to dive into a new game series. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. If you told me right now to play Monster Hunter World on the Xbox, I would give it a shot.
Hang on a minute. You have Game Pass Ultimate, don't you?
I do. I mean, I don't on mine because I gave it away, but I could always get it. It's not that far
Yeah,
away.
Monster Hunter World is in there.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow, you know what? You might be helping your New Year's resolution here to get me on Xbox a little more.
Get you a little Monster Hunter practice before Rise officially fully releases, eh?
Yeah, so I have a fair comparison on how I feel about different things because I can't really sit here. Oh, did you just see me get smoked?
I did.
Oh, they're bringing him out on the cart, Jim, and this is not looking good. That might be the end of his season.
Dude, could you imagine if someone in football got wheeled off on a cart and then last second they just tipped it and flipped him off onto the sideline? There you go, we're done. We got you off the field. That's as far as you're going. Your American health insurance did not cover you going any further than this.
Oh, the CDPHP is not helping out on this one.
All right, so are we ready to move off of what we've been playing?
Yeah, definitely.
I think you said you wanted to go Sony first this week, right?
Yeah, we don't have too much Sony news. Nothing really booming to the eye.
There was a little bit of stuff today. A couple games got release date updates. Let me bring them up real quick.
Oh yeah, you were kind of briefly bringing this up.
Yeah, so there's just a quick picture for people watching. Returnal, I don't know if you saw this. This was at Sony's conference. I think the first one they showed the PlayStation at. It's like a survival horror game. It's got really impressive graphics. Looks like I don't know, like the visuals were reminiscent of like Death Stranding and like their character models and whatnot. Cool. I guess it's from the people that did the hell, what was that game? Resogun, when the PS4 first came out. It was like a twin stick shooter. And it's like their newest like big project. So that's coming out March 19th, 2021. So that's actually before Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah. Week before on the dot.
Yeah, so we've got Kina. This is one of my most anticipated PS5 games, Kina Bridge of Spirits. If you haven't seen the trailer for this and you don't watch it directly after this podcast, Sween, I'm going to take applications for the new host of the NSX podcast. All right.
Can I take a guess at the theme of this game just based on what I'm seeing here? Is this kind of like a story like the Ori and the Blind Forest kind of deal or no?
Well, I mean, the gameplay is 3D, like platformer action adventure. It is like a very nature-connected story. Kina is the bridge between the physical and spirit world. And I should have brought up a trailer. That's what I should have done, but I wasn't thinking about it. First off, you know me, I say it all the time, I'm a graphics whore. I love graphics. If it looks really good, I will check it out. This looks like a Pixar movie in motion, man.
Nice.
It's beautiful. I'm going to make you watch it right after this podcast. So on the next week's podcast, you're going to be like, dude, he's not lying. Kina looks amazing.
Yeah, we'll get the trailer that for next podcast for sure.
So this comes out also March of 2021. They didn't give an actual date. They just said March. It was supposed to be a launch title. It got delayed kind of last minute. A lot of stuff because of COVID did not make its initial planned release. That sucks. But I look forward to it, and the second it comes out, it will be one of the games on my list that gets beat. I promise. Okay, avert your eyes, man. I know. So Stray, you're a little bit of a cat hater. I know. This is a game that surprised me, man. They showed this at that same conference, and like you play as this cat, and you sneak around like alleys in a very stylized. I almost said cyberpunk, not cyberpunk, but like very like neon colored like world. And
I'll tell you how much I like it already.
I don't really know what it's gonna play like. It's kind of like a slightly higher budget indie game from my understanding. They announced that it's October of 2021, so hopefully it sticks to that. That's pretty far out. And last, but certainly not least, especially to me,
Well, I mean, Stray's on there, so the least already came up. But
for you, Project
I don't like
Athia. This, I'm still puzzled on exactly what this is. They showed this. It looks pretty good. It's definitely looked like it was going to be like Final Fantasy 16, but apparently it's not because we've seen Final Fantasy 16. This is a new project from Square. It's apparently an entirely new franchise now. You play in third person. Project Athia is just a working title. You can't see that, but it actually says that under our little picture there. It got a release date, or targeted release date, I should say, because all games get delayed lately, but especially Square games. They've been getting delayed my whole life. So it says January of 2022. We'll see if that holds true or not. There were a couple other games that got updated, but honestly, I wasn't that interested in those games, so we'll just hit back to your footage. Those were the 4 that I thought looked really cool, and I can't wait to check them out, even though you think Stray is going to be horrible. You know we're going to have, like, a podcast that has an hour and a half of Stray footage, right?
Okay.
Like this coming October, that's going to happen, so...
Whatever you say.
You might want to have some drinks.
I
think you wanted to talk about the black PS2 design PS5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird story, to say the least, right?
Yeah. We talked about this, and I don't think. I mean, you don't think this either. I don't think they pulled the PS2, PS5 because of death threats. There are death threats everywhere. I feel like almost over anything.
I'm a little puzzled on it. I mean, the company is it's like Super 5, and like it's stylized, so like the E is like a backwards 3 or something. So they announced this, and it's like it was supposed to like be selling a PS5, not just like a skin. It was supposed to be like you ordered a PS5 through them, like they were gonna order a PS5 and then customize it, make it black to look like the PS2. There was supposed to be like a logo insert that it's like the PS2 logo, but it says PS5. And then the controller was made to look like a DualShock 2 from way back when. And like they sold their pre-orders out like almost instantly because almost everyone wanted a black PS5 anyway. I'm a guy that told you I couldn't stand the look of the system. It's sitting here next to my Xbox. It is growing on me, but like I look at it and I'm like, man, I would have liked that so much more if it was black. You know. But I guess like soon after they sold out, they postponed the release and then ultimately canceled it, and then they deleted their Twitter after they say they received quote unquote credible threats to their safety. So like they actually seemed to think that the death threats were legitimate. And I don't know, like, was it people that were just mad there was a custom system, or mad they couldn't get their hands on it? Just so you people know, it's really not that hard to plasti dip your system. The side panels come right off. Go to the store, buy some plasti dip, follow the directions, and make it the color you want. It comes out really good. I know a lot of people that have done it. You don't need to threaten anyone's life. I personally didn't think this was going to come out anyway. I thought for like certain Sony would put an end to it themselves. I was like, they're not going to let anybody sell their stuff separately in a different manner, especially when, let's be real, they're probably going to release a black PS5 to, celebrate the anniversary of the PS2 in some regard. So They're not going to let someone else jump them on that.
No.
Yeah, that did happen. The company had death threats, and everyone got their stuff refunded, I guess. So, moral of the story, people suck. They will threaten to kill you if they don't get what they want. And also, don't try to sell things that don't actually belong to you in the first place.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, and Plasti Dip is cheap, guys. Just go buy some Plasti Dip. Go to your hardware store. Tell me you want Plasti Dip.
For what it is worth, though, I did love, of course, I'm going to love the design of the PS5, or the PS2, PS5. PS2, obviously, is going to bring back that nostalgia. We talked earlier, I told you I was a big PS1, PS2 fan. Fell off for the 360. Played the Xbox One - the PS4 - the Wii U. But I ultimately went with Xbox One in that generation. And then, of course, you introduced me to the Switch, and here I am back on Nintendo. Of course, I played the 64,
you had a fun
the
little
GameCube,
journey.
The Wii. I had the Wii, the GameCube, the 64.
I I thought the design looked great. I told you that there's a guy on my Twitter. I'll try to find the design later and send it to you. He plasti dipped the system, made it black. He like hand painted a a color PlayStation logo to go on the front there, and then on the left side he custom did like the PS2 logo, but it's like the dark blue to light blue fade like the PS2 was, but it says PS5. And on the right side he did a big, I don't know if he painted it or if it's a sticker, but it's the like original PlayStation PS logo with like the 3 colors in it, like you would see when the PS1 first came on. And I thought it was the best looking thing. Like, if Sony released that, let's be real, I already spent double the cost of a PS5 to get the one I got. If they released that one officially, they'd get me to drop another $800. I'd be like, okay, that's mine. So, right. Sony, if you're listening, you can make some money off of me, and I'm not the only one out there. But nope. Please don't charge us $800.
But please.
Yeah, but please. That's really all I've got for Sony. If you've got more. Shoot.
I'm just sitting here waiting for Ratchet and Clank, to be honest with you. I want to see that game. I want to see that game. No, that's it for me, man.
There actually was one other little
Sony?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's not like a big topic, I guess. I sent you a picture, actually.
I saw that of the PS1 to 5.
Yeah, so it's like, it's the systems all standing up. I don't know if you know this. The PS2 standing up, it's a cool little feature. It's actually
See, now that's something you're probably not impressed with, how I'm walking through the monster like that, and when I'm carving, I don't even have to.
Yeah, I hate when games do that. I feel like we're at a point that it should definitely be better than that now. So,
and I'm willing to point out its criticisms. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's not even just a criticism of this game, though. Like, that's a criticism for me in gaming general. Like, we should be at a point where it's easier to handle stuff like that now. So, I am going to throw a picture up on the screen for a minute. I sent you this picture, yes?
Yep.
All right, so you've got the PS1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the original models, of course, all for, like, a size comparison. Now, as I was saying, like, the PS2 stands up, and every system since the PS2 stands up. But when you look at the PS1, you see one that probably shouldn't, right? It looks like it was designed to lay flat. There was, like, a flaw in a batch of the initial systems where they wouldn't read a disc right sometimes if they weren't stood up on their side, which is actually the main reason the PS2 was designed to be able to stand up if need be. Because it was in the design, the system still looks solid that way. But that's actually a feature from a flaw in the first system. But I look at this, and I'm looking at the PS1 and the PS4 especially. So look at this with me, and anyone that's watching the video, look at it as well. The PS1 and the PS4 look like they're damn near identical in size. Now, I'm not measuring them. I don't have them sitting in front of me. But in these pictures, they look really similar, right?
Right.
So if we use the PS1 and the 4 as the start of their 3-generation cycles, look at the jump from PS1 to PS2 and PS2 to PS3. Dude, what if, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what if the jump from PS1 to PS2 is the jump from PS1 to PS4, and therefore we're going to have a PS6 that's equivalently larger than the PS5 from what the PS3 to PS2 is.
Oh my god.
Dude, we're looking at like a 2-foot-tall system.
Here's a tower, take it.
It's like the bottom half of my leg.
Before you know it, it's going to be a Pokemon.
It really is like a computer tower. Like, I mean, the PS5 is already almost there, but I just wanted to pick on the size of the system. It does stand out like crazy, sitting here next to my TV. So I just thought I'd show that real quick. We'll go back to your footage.
Nice. Yeah, so this is, real quick, the footage is going to change up a little bit. I'm not doing a monster hunt right here this second. This is actually me doing the wyvern riding tutorial, kind of to just show how the wyvern riding works. I think this is the dopest feature they added to the game. I like the wire bug, like I said. See, you can see the little 2 wire bug symbols that need a cooldown. They show that right there. So, I just want to get a little bit of separate footage of this, and also so you don't get that dip while I'm moving around, because this is offline. Just want to clarify that as well.
Well, let's see. You're about to be moving around. All right. So far, I'm not seeing it.
So they distract you with this. Oh yeah, me too. They distract you with that little crab, but low key they're gonna send a bear out.
Nah,
They
you're only
distract you
fighting
with
that crab. Don't worry.
yeah, no, that's it. You just need to try to control that crab. I'm like, how am I gonna control this crab, dude?
The crab's the bait for the bear. All right, so you wanted to go on Nintendo, and I know you've been talking to me all week about you're going to have a big week for Nintendo. So let's get this going. We're actually 50 minutes in. I was surprised that we carried that far on PlayStation.
Dude, I'm shocked we carried that far in the intro, but here we are doing another podcast. We love talking about games, man, constantly, and that's nothing wrong with that. The more we do, the merrier. You know, if people don't like what they hear, fast forward. That's why they make fast forward. God bless. Um, no, but yeah, we do have a lot to talk about with Nintendo. Not so much too deep with games. Obviously we talked about Monster Hunter Rise. We don't have to talk too much about that. If you want to see more, it's playing in the background. We're gonna talk Nintendo hardware. We're gonna talk Nintendo leaks.
Oh, you're talking about Ola.
Nintendo Ola. So a big leak came out. I don't know the exact date, but it was a couple days ago.
I want to say the 8th. Day after
Yeah.
my birthday sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Cyrez M was the leaker, well-known console hacker and data streamer from what I've heard, and I guess he posted on the Reset Era forums a leak of Nintendo working on a revision, Nintendo Ola,
and like this isn't supposed to be just a revision, you know, because we see revisions that we don't even notice. I know like the PS 3 or 4, one of them had like 3 different revisions that the system itself didn't change at all. It looked identical. It was minor stuff. This is an actual revision to the hardware where we're going to get, you know, like more efficient chipset, right?
Right. Well, yeah. So that's what we got to talk about too. Is the chipset's improving. We're looking at an OLED screen.
OLEDs are beautiful.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's going to be such a big jump over the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, dude. If you can get your hands on an original Vita, I have one lying around here somewhere. That sounds so bad that I just have it lying around, but I never got rid of it because they got rid of the OLED screen and all the other models, and I kept it just so I could, you know, use it later, and then I haven't. But if you look at a Vita's OLED and look at the Switch's LCD, that Vita screen looks so much better, it's absurd. So the idea of a Switch with an OLED, that you might get me to play some Monster Hunter Portable on that.
All right, and it's believed to have. Yeah, I agree 100%. Right, and then it's believed to have 4K support. We're looking at a new dock.
Now,
possibly.
The thing I read said that they think the 4K support is actually from the dock. That the Switch itself isn't doing it, but there's either extra graphics performance or just some sort of 4K upscaling chip in the dock.
So, right? The tablet isn't confirmed. We don't know about the tablet being 4K or not, but yes, the dock is rumored to be 4K.
I could not imagine a 4K Switch screen. It's overkill. If you don't have a screen with a decent size, I'm not saying you need 60 inches, but like you don't need a 4K screen on anything I'd say under 15 inches. No. So I'd imagine we're getting 1080p. Maybe if they're giving it a real significant graphics upgrade, we'll get to 1440, but I'd say it's probably a 1080p OLED screen.
Right. So let me ask you this. Let's just say this leak is real, which I mean, this does seem like one of the more credible leaks we've had come out. Definitely, you know, with how in detail it is and how specific it is.
Yeah, it's got like the naming of the chipset. I remember it was like I want to say a Japanese name, like Mariko. I might not have said that right. It's Mariko. I know. I can see it in my head right now.
Oh, I think it's the Mariko SoC. I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the system on a chip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not gonna lie to you, I did not know what SoC stood for before you said it. You're the hardware guy. You know way more about hardware than me. I mean, I'm just really big into the game.
So what I read from the chipset is it has a massive upgrade to cooling and battery, which I don't know if the chipset itself has like built-in better technology or if it's just running the same type, you know, like processor units and whatnot. But just the fact that there's a significant upgrade to cooling and battery means you can clock it higher, which will get you better performance. You remember with the one Switch update, they put in like boost mode where the Switch can clock significantly higher and you get a lot better performance. you know, you can only overclock something as high as it can efficiently run. If it gets too hot, it's going to destroy your battery and eventually fry itself. So, like the current Switch, if you really upgraded the cooling and battery, then you could potentially make that, you know, I think it's a 1 gigahertz processor. You can make it a 2, you know, and get a lot better performance. I'm hoping for more than just an overclocking. You know, I'd like to see that this Project Ola has, like I said before, definitely more RAM, because that will solve a lot of the soupy texture issues. You know, you got to remember, the better the textures you want, the more RAM you need. And the Switch only has 4 gigs of RAM. We're back to your online play. It's getting that stutter. You're absolutely correct.
I know.
But the Switch only has 4 gigs of RAM, and it's like LPDDR4 RAM, so it's only running like 25 gigabit a second. So not only is it like half as much as an Xbox One, but it runs at like, I don't know, 38% of an Xbox One's RAM speed. So I would love to see doubling of the RAM. I'd really like to see an increase of the speed to the RAM too. And that would definitely get us... Again, it doesn't need to go to 1080p. Especially if they introduce like a Switch-specific DLSS, programming. I talked about it. I want to say the last podcast, maybe the one before that, but Digital Foundry found that DLSS could take a 540p image and make it match a 1080p image. So if you could get a 1080p Switch with, 1080p textures and whatnot, with DLSS, you could get that easily looking 1440p, maybe 1600p, and coming up to like the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X quality imagery. And that's really what I need. I don't need it to match the PS5 and Series X. That was never really Nintendo's thing. I just need it to not look so soupy that it makes me want to turn the game off. And some games on Switch do that, especially the ones like this that try to push bigger graphical features.
Right. But so you're saying, well, here's my question for you: is say we do get the 4K and the 1080p, okay,
Right.
on the dock mode. Would that be enough to get you personally to play the Switch? Now, hold on, because you got to think there's a lot of factors to this, right? Now, you got to factor in, does this dock apply to this regular Switch, or do you have to go buy the whole entire bundle of the system itself and the dock, or can I buy this dock separate and still get the power? So my first question is I know you're going to buy the Switch Pro regardless if they drop it.
Absolutely.
But if you were, say, the average gamer who has a Switch, would this... I mean, how big of a deal is it that they sell this dock separately and that it adapts with the regular Switch? Oh, hold on 1 second. Moment of silence. I know I will let you get back to that, but check this out. Yeah, dude, I get to mess around with this guy for a little bit, and dude, just when I was riding him, I was like, yes, I got this on the podcast, the footage, dude. I mean, he's a beast, dude.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this addition of being able to ride things.
You can see he just dove down, did that big move, and yeah, it's. I just wanted to make sure we got that. But what would you? I mean, how big is the dock? And then, I mean, on top of that, is this enough, or do you feel like in your mind they also have to improve majorly on the online system, or is the upgrade to 1080p and 4K enough for you personally?
Well, for me, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really turn to Switch for online titles all that much. Like, to me, the Xbox is my online go-to. I use my PlayStation and my Switch primarily for games that I cannot play elsewhere. God of War's, Uncharted, Zelda's, Monster Hunter Rise, I guess. So, the online, I think, needs to be addressed because there's a lot of people out there that might be Switch-only users that don't have another console that they can handle all their online with. And to them, like, it's not fair that they're not getting a lot of online titles because a lot of companies don't like the online features. There's no Call of Duty on Switch. Actually, there's no real shooters on Switch anymore. I talked about this before, but like, Nintendo used to dominate the shooters. They gotta get more shooters out, more all shooters, man. There was a time that Perfect Dark and GoldenEye were the go-to shooters, period, and now they haven't really had like a premier best of the year kind of shooter game since maybe Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I mean they got games like Overwatch, which it's not a first-person shooter. That's more of like what's the style of game you would call it?
So I mean I do count Overwatch. A lot of people I know play that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm specifically saying like they need their own shooter. Like yes, I want them to get Call of Duty. I want them to get well I was going to say Titanfall, but like I don't think that'll really go here. I want them to get all of the first-person shooters so no one on a Switch only misses out on them. But I want them to have their own again. I want them to have a GoldenEye, a Perfect Dark.
No, you're right, because GoldenEye really revolutionized the shooter to begin with.
I told you before, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but privately, like, I think Nintendo avoids shooters because they don't want to dive into the violent imagery. Most Nintendo games avoid it. Even Smash Bros., which obviously is a violent game, the violence like avoids things like blood and death. Like it's not like you die in Smash Bros. You're KO'd. Like you're knocked out of the arena or whatnot. So Nintendo wants to, in my mind, avoid that violence. So I think a really cool idea for them, that if done right would actually attract even the more hardcore crowd like myself, would be like introducing like a Smash Bros-esque shooter game that was like a laser tag type game where like you don't kill each other, but like imagine like a Super Nintendo Land laser tag arena where you play as like just this litany of Nintendo characters, Mario and Donkey Kong, Bowser and F-Zero's, Captain, what's his name, Captain something?
Falcon.
Captain Falcon, Star Fox, Metroid, all of them. And you're just in a laser tag tournament. And each stage is like taken from, maybe one is in Hyrule, one is in the Mushroom Kingdom, one is on an F-Zero track, and you're dodging cars, and all sorts of stuff like that could be done. And as long as it plays, 60 frames per second, nice smooth gameplay, and you could kind of copy Call of Duty with like a core mode where maybe you get 10 hits before you die, and a hardcore mode where 2 hits will do the trick. And you could, take the violence out by making it so you're not actually shooting each other, but it's laser tag. And I think that Nintendo fans would play it. I know I would. I myself. I know when we talked about it, you thought it sounded great. You told me to shut up. You were like, dude, don't talk about stuff that they're never going to make because now I want it.
Yeah, badly.
Yeah. I just want to see Nintendo get that genre back, and I want it represented with Nintendo exclusives. And after Nintendo shows that it can represent that, I'm sure it'll win back, Call of Duty and Battlefield. And maybe Titanfall if there ever is another one. I mean, we're still waiting on Apex Legends, which isn't the Titanfall universe. I want to see shooters come back to Nintendo. That's what I'm saying. I like shooter games.
Right.
I'll kick it back to you. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's really it for the that leak. We heard a lot about it. Then another thing is that we heard was that the Nintendo Direct website had its archives updated. Somebody looked into that and found that out, and it seems like they're making room for something in the near future. And I'll tell you, it's not this Monster Hunter Direct we got, because that is not up on there.
So you think there's a Direct coming?
Well, but take it with a grain of salt, because this does touch every Nintendo, first-party Direct. So it could be a mini, it could be a developer showcase, it could be an indie world. It does touch everything. So we do have to take that with a grain of salt, and we can't say 100% that it's going to be the big Direct. But I feel like with we got a lot of rumors in the air. We got to see what's going on with Mario 3D World. It's a month away. Actually, what is today?
The 11th?
All right, tomorrow. We're a month away.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that. I think it's probably going to end up like Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Fury is.
Where,
what is Bowser's Fury? Please tell me.
Like 2 weeks before it comes out, they're just going to drop a Switch, Direct. Like, hey, here's that game we told you was coming and everything about it. And I myself, I love to have the knowledge of all of these games, so it irks the hell out of me that we don't know yet. Yeah. But I do understand that they're seeing success with it. They announced Paper Mario 2 months before it came out, and it did great. They announced Super Mario 3D All-Stars 2 weeks before it came out, and it did great. So they're seeing that in this era, it might actually be better for them to not hype things super early and instead wait until the last minute to show us stuff so it stays fresh in our mind. And maybe that's just the way Nintendo wants to do their business now. And if that's the case, like they've been around 100 years. They've been a gaming company my entire life. I'm not going to fault them. I wish they would give us more information sooner, but at the same time, how many times have we seen a game early on that we were really impressed with, like Scalebound on Xbox, that ended up getting canceled after we were hyped for it for 2 years or 3 years or whatever it was.
And absolutely, they still had some very hyped announcements. I mean, Paper Mario was very hyped, and I mean, Age of Calamity, that was out of left field completely. We heard Paper Mario rumors. As for Age of Calamity, like, where did the prequel for Breath of the Wild even come from? Thin air. I mean, seriously. So I was excited, but I think it's overdue. I think the Direct kind of disappeared because of COVID. I mean, we got to face the facts of reality that this disease is still affecting people to this day, unfortunately. Virus, sorry, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I had it, bro. I had COVID. I had one of the strains, you know, early the last month, right around now last month, actually. And it kicked my ass, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was terrible. You know, I know we were talking earlier, and, you know, sad story. Someone that your mom knows lost one of their loved ones to this virus today. You know,
yeah, 20 minutes before we started this podcast, actually.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm lucky. Me and the missus both got it, and we both got over it. I got it over it a little bit quicker than she did. But, like, I hate, you know, this is off topic. We normally talk just gaming, but there's a lot of people out there that, like, really don't believe COVID is real. First off, that's definitely not the case. I had this. It is real. It sucks. But then there's other people out there that get it, and when they get over it quickly or without too much fuss, they're like, oh, this isn't even that bad. People are just overreacting. Listen, there's people that get over the flu in one day. That doesn't mean that it's not serious. You know, we've got, whatever it is, 30, 40,000 deaths a year to the flu every year, you know, since the flu showed up. So, I don't like when I see people underplay it. Like, your mom knows someone that just lost somebody today. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that COVID wasn't bad. It was, I'd say, medium for me. Thankfully. You know?
Right.
I'm not going to say, oh, it's not serious because it didn't kill me. There were a couple times that it had me feeling, like, really terrible, like questioning my health and whether or not I should go to the hospital. But all in all, I recovered in 5 to 7 days, and I'm happy. I'm lucky that happened.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, so, yeah, people are underestimating it. It is affecting everything, including gaming, and it probably is the reason we've gotten less directs. You're probably right.
Absolutely. And you know, and it's still, they still had some exciting news, but I think... you know, with all these rumors in the air right now, I mean, with Mario 3D World, with all these anniversaries, I mean, we are bound to see what's going on for 2021 with Nintendo. I feel very strongly about a January Direct, if not a very early February Direct.
Yeah, I think we'll see one within the next 3 weeks or so.
You still got Hitman coming to the cloud, don't forget.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered Hitman on Xbox, so I'm pretty excited for that too.
Yeah, there is one more topic shortly that I want to talk about with Nintendo, and then we can move on to Xbox. You know, I've been, you know, seeing what's different with Nintendo, and I understand we had a tough year last year, but where on earth is Doug Bowser?
That's the guy that took over for Satoru Iwata, yes?
For Reggie.
Reggie.
For Nintendo of America. Yeah. You know, I feel like Reggie did such a great job representing
Did that guy just get hired
America
because his name is Bowser? Or did he change his name to Bowser because he got the job? I want to know.
He's worked at Nintendo for a while. But I don't, you know, that's a great question. He is Bowser. But, you know, we saw him at the E3 Direct, and then, you know, we haven't even heard much from him. We heard a little bit about him talking about Switch rumors and how we're constantly looking to improve for hardware, yada, blah, blah, blah. But really, aside from that, we haven't heard anything from Nintendo of America's brand new guy. And you would think you would want to make an impression after following up a guy like Reggie, who was just a hell of a guy for Nintendo. I mean, he was funny. He, you know, appealed to Nintendo.
Yo, we'll come back to Bowser. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we've been on here for a while now. We've been recording this for a little over an hour, but, you know, we had some prep work before that to get this going. It turns out that while we were doing our prep work, Nintendo of America tweeted, Bowser's Fury will be unleashed in a new Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury trailer tomorrow. Come back at 6 a.m. Pacific time to see the 2-minute long trailer.
Really?
Yep. Looking at it right now. I'll send it to you.
There's our direct.
Well, I mean, that's a 2-minute trailer for this, so at least we are getting something for Bowser's Fury. That is one thing that I think they kind of made a mistake on, showing so early, because they showed no new content. They announced new content, but showed nothing new months in advance. I feel like the way that they dropped 3D All-Stars would have been better for Bowser's Fury if they weren't going to show anything soon, just 2 weeks before. Hey, by the way, guess what's coming out?
Yeah, I feel like this is very odd that they're going to do a 2-minute. Like, I feel like to announce it ahead of time, I feel like they could have just dropped it, but I mean, I respect it. I'm not mad about it. I'm curious what this is to add. To be honest with you, I didn't even play Mario 3D World, so I'm excited to try that as a whole.
Yeah, you know what? I played it with the kids on the Wii U. It was actually the last game I played on the Wii U.
Yo, so a lot of people will vouch that it's the best Mario game ever made, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of people say that.
I mean, I'm going to go newer than that and say Odyssey would be the best ever made, but 3D World was good. I'm not going to knock it at all.
Hey, I don't disagree with you.
I think you're going to look forward to it. Or I'm looking forward to your reaction to it, at least, I should say.
I'm not going to lie to you. I love Odyssey, but I got to admit, man, and I didn't play it on the Wii, and it's so funny, but really, Galaxy has truly become my favorite Mario experience that I've had. I know it sounds bizarre, and I know it sounds, weird.
I have to go back and revisit. I couldn't stand how motion controls were forced into so many games on the Wii, and I missed a lot of games because of it. So I do have 3D All-Stars here. Maybe Galaxy is going to be one of those 11 games that are left. I mean, I'm hoping to beat more than 11, but I committed to 12 games, so I beat one. I've got 11 left.
Makes me sad we didn't get Galaxy 2.
Yeah, I still think that there's something coming with that. I think maybe it was supposed to be there, and it just they didn't have time with COVID or whatnot, because it just seems like a glaring weakness. Maybe it'll get re-released, like, in March when they supposedly take this one off the shelves. Maybe we'll get, like, Super Mario 3D All-Stars plus Super Mario Galaxy, because if you remember, the original Super Mario All-Stars didn't have Super Mario World on it. It got added in, like, a year later. So maybe that's what's going to happen here. Maybe we'll get, like, the Master Chief Collection. Maybe we'll get, like, the Mario Collection, and it'll be, 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D World, all in one game, one big package for next Christmas or something.
I'm kind of thinking, and now the more I think about it, could March really be our Direct month? And that's why we're seeing all this limited time stuff go away, is that they're going to do the Direct in March, and then they're going to focus on the Zelda hype, and they're going to show all the games in March.
I mean, you're my Nintendo guy, so I would trust your opinion on it. From what I've seen, they seem to do Directs whenever the heck they feel like. There's times that we get one every month and a half, and then there's times that we go, I think we went like 6 months without one, and most of the Nintendo community was losing their mind.
We're over a year now, by the way. We haven't had one since September of 2019, a full Direct.
Well, that's mostly because they focused on these, like, partner Directs.
I understand. And then
they still put out a lot of content. They just kind of abandoned their, like, traditional 45-minute show that's, like, all this big, amazing stuff. That's fine. As long as information keeps coming, I'm happy. Yeah. So that was your last Nintendo thing?
Yep, on the Xbox.
Actually, going to backtrack for 1 second to Sony. Something you said in the Nintendo thing, about a domain registration. Sony, Killzone? You remember the Killzone games, yes?
We talk about it. I remember it a little bit, yeah.
So Killzone 1, came out years and years ago, and it was like Sony was searching for the Halo killer. I remember they had Black, which ended up going multi-platform anyway, but Killzone was supposed to be their answer to Halo, because at the time Halo was just this dominating force in the shooter space that everyone needed to find an answer to. Microsoft rode Halo into becoming a relevant system. Halo 2, I remember, broke records for, like, all media. It was like the highest profitable media launch ever for one day or 3 days or something. It was hundreds of millions of dollars, and then Halo 3 broke that record, and since a bunch of games have done it. But back then they were looking for the answer, so Killzone came to be. And that's Guerrilla Games. They're most recently known for Horizon Zero Dawn and soon to be Horizon Forbidden West. So they did Killzone, Then that was a PS2 game. At the PS3 original press conference, they showed Killzone 2, and it was very clearly not a game. It was a CG trailer that was like a target, but it was made to look like gameplay, and then someone from Sony said it was gameplay, and then we didn't see the game again for years. It finally came out, and it actually still looked pretty damn good. Not quite as good as that trailer, but still pretty good. And it was a good game. Killzone 3 came. I thought that was actually the better game, especially with the online. And then Shadowfall launched with the PS4. And that was one of the first games on PS4 that, like, amazed me. I remember sitting here with my buddy Anthony. He came over when I got my PS4. We were checking it out, and, like, the quality was just top-notch, man. It looked so good. It played so good for its time. They kind of retired the website for Killzone. So it looks like after they let Guerrilla move on to Horizon and found monstrous success with it, it kind of looks like they've abandoned, the Killzone franchise, which is sad because I think it's still really good. They should probably just hand it off to another studio while the main Guerrilla Games studio continues on with Horizon. But I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Killzone looks like it's gone, or at least it's going to be gone for a while. Did your footage just wrap around?
Yeah. It was really convincing that it didn't, though, honestly. If you really rewatch that, it looked like that just kind of...
All right, I don't think we have too much more to go. I'll just let the wrap keep going.
Yeah, let it go. I mean,
we'll try to have some more. I'll try to make sure that we have a little bit longer footage on the next podcast in case it goes this long. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's still Monster Hunter Rise. That was our main focus. You still get to watch the gameplay, but...
I don't have an absolutely crazy amount of stuff for Xbox here. A big one that popped up on the week that I didn't really understand. A lot of people went nuts over. Microsoft filed like a trademark for Xbox Series XS. And...
Yo, I lied.
Uh-oh.
I lied. My footage. I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. This is actually not the. This is the same footage, but it didn't loop around. This is me playing solo, I think.
All right.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to clarify
so
that this is.
They trademark Xbox Series XS, and people are kind of going nuts about it, thinking that Microsoft's already announcing another system in the Series line. So like the new Xbox, it's actually just called the Xbox. Like, the Series X and the Series S are like the number of your phone now. You just got the new iPhone. It just so happens to be the whatever the new iPhone is. Or you just got the new Galaxy. So it's called the new Xbox. And then there's the Series X and the Series S. And people see this trademark for Series XS. Or copyright, whichever one. I always mixed them up. I don't believe for a second this is a new system. We're not getting a digital Series X this soon. The amount of R&D that goes into actually doing another variant of a system, it's not like something you just put out willy-nilly overnight. They would have announced it already if that was the case. I think this Xbox Series XS is just the branding they're going to do for games that are made for the Series XS. Or, Series X and Series S, I should say. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe there's another one coming, but I don't see another version of either of these systems outside of maybe a different color coming for at least 2 years. So moving on, that topic's over.
Right.
I'm gonna complain about Cole. Oh, okay. What do you got?
Well, yeah, no. I just wanted to say really quick. The only reason why I want to clarify that this is still that footage is because this is not online, and I don't know if you noticed while you were watching this footage a little bit, but there's no dip at all. Even when I was riding around, I don't want people to think that this is online because this is not online. This is strictly offline.
That little frame drop that we were talking about seems to only affect you online.
Yeah, and it's apparently because of the friends list and the glitch. But I just wanted to clarify that. And after this, though, the footage will loop. So this is the last thing I got. It was a solo battle just to show how it works offline.
All right, so I want to complain about Call of Duty real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because
you've been diving deep, so I mean you have a really good opinion.
Oh, dude, I have like 8 days of play on Black Ops. I'm a big zombies guy, so most of my playtime is zombies. The last couple of days, there's been a lot of multiplayer as a bunch of my friends hopped on. Like, come on, let's play multiplayer. This is the reason that I don't beat games anymore. I got to like appear offline to play my games, so no one wants to play Call of Duty with me. But the game itself, when it's working, it's another Call of Duty. If you like Call of Duty, you're going to love it. If you don't like Call of Duty, don't expect to love this one. It plays smoothly on the Series X, 4K, 60 frames. I have a variable refresh rate TV, so if there is like minor drops, I'm not going to see them. There's a 120 hertz mode. I don't use it. Excuse me. I have. It was really smooth, but I felt like the visuals took a noticeable downturn, and I'm happy with 60, so I just went back to the 4K 60. But my complaint is, do you remember when we went from Xbox 360 to Xbox One and PS4?
I remember.
So you're talking 2013, and these systems weren't backwards compatible, right?
Right.
Xbox 360 couldn't play Xbox game, or Xbox One couldn't play 360 games. They added that, I want to say 2015. PS4 still can't play PS3 games, except for like stuff that's delivered over the cloud with PS Now. But a lot of people were questioning, like, what do we do? There's no backwards compatibility. The systems were coming out right after a lot of the big games, and there was like worries that people might not buy like Call of Duty and Madden and stuff like that simply because they were going to wait to buy it for the new system. So a lot of games offered this $10 upgrade path where if you bought, I bought Call of Duty Ghosts back then on 360. I bought it digitally. I downloaded it to my 360. Then when my Xbox One came out, I paid $10 to upgrade to the Xbox One digital version. So essentially I was paying, $70. And I had already beat the Xbox 360 version. Now I have the better next-gen version. It was awesome. I think I did the same thing for like Madden and maybe one or two other games. Now
was that Madden 25?
Yeah.
When it went from Barry Sanders on the Xbox 360 to Adrian Peterson on the Xbox One. Yep, I remember. Okay, yeah.
So there was just that $10 upgrade fee, and I thought that was great. Now with this gen, we have backwards compatibility. And with Xbox, they really pushed this Xbox Smart Delivery, where like games, if you bought like Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One, when you turned it on an Xbox Series S or X, it would like recognize that it was on a Series S or X, and it would download the appropriate update files to play that version of the game instead of playing the Xbox One version digitally or backwards compatibly. I mean. And Activision was a notable exception. Activision was one that was like, yeah, we're not getting involved in that because they love money. And I can't blame them. I love money too. But they did like $60 for the Xbox One or PS4 version. And then $70 got you like the cross-gen version where you would get the Xbox One and the Xbox Series. And then the $100 version got you that version with, I think, the Battle Pass and some COD points. So cool, whatever, that's awesome. But, there's no upgrade. So, my buddy Sean, you've played with Sean, you know Sean.
Oh, yeah.
He was unable to pre-order a system. I don't know if you remember, but when the pre-orders went live for both systems, it was a bit of a mess. It was definitely better on Xbox, but a mess with both. And, it was supposed to go live at 11. I think I finally got the pre-order my Series X at, just before 12 or just after. I think it was just before. He didn't hold out long enough. I guess he gave up after 40 minutes, 45 minutes, because he couldn't get it to load. So he never got one pre-ordered. And then they sold out like crazy, and people are charging absurd amounts, and he lives on a fixed income, so he was like, damn, I can't get one. So he was like, all right, I'm not going to be able to get a new Xbox probably till sometime next year. And he was thinking, late 2021. Turns out we all got this stimulus, or a lot of us got this stimulus. And he lucked out. He called around stores where he lives. He found a Series S. He wasn't able to get a Series X, but he did get his hands on a Series S. I guess he had to order it online for pickup. I think he actually said he was getting it today. So I'll have to get a hold of him after this and find out if he got it. But he did buy one. And now he's upset because he can't just turn on the Series S version of Call of Duty. There's no $10 upgrade. So to get the next-gen version of Call of Duty, he has to rebuy the entire game for $70. When he already bought the $60 version 2 months ago. Almost, actually, 2 days away from 2 months ago. So, Activision, your company sucks. I hope that one day you just go under. I really do. And if anyone delivers a shooter that I find even remotely as enjoyable as Call of Duty, I'll stop playing your game because you're too money hungry. You know, people just dropped hundreds of dollars on new systems, and you can't give us a little bit of a break at this point like everyone else is. I mean, on the other hand, he's got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You know, Sean's a big Assassin's Creed guy. Now, he got that for $60 on Xbox One. I think he actually got it on sale for like $40 in one of these sales, if I remember correctly. And he automatically gets the Xbox Series S version when he hooks up a Series S. It'll just automatically download the better version of the game, and I'll have that. He doesn't even have to pay $10, so he's still paying the last gen price of a game. And Activision's like, nope, you can't even upgrade. You bought the $60 version, screw you. Like, I'm sorry, does your owner, you know, I don't know, I watch the Xbox 2 podcast a lot. Jez Corden, one of my favorite video game journalists online on Windows Central. He doesn't like Activision either. He's pointed out a lot of the evils of that company to me. And I believe it's Bobby Kotick is like their CEO. He always has a comment about how Activision's money hungry because Bobby Kotick needs like a new yacht or something. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. He wants a new yacht, so Sean has to pay $70 for a game that he should only be able to pay, you know, $10 to upgrade. Maybe even $20 if they wanted to be greedy. I wouldn't care. But telling me he has to rebuy a game he bought 2 months ago, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Lastly for Xbox, or not lastly, I know what you want. I know what you're going to. Yeah, so we have a new controller. So the one on the screen is not the new one. This is the last new one. The Shock Blue. This is the one I got for the boys. I love this. I love the blue controller, the blue sticks, the blue buttons, the blue ABXY set on the black background, the white on the back. It kind of reminds me of like a race car with like white pinstripes type deal.
Yo, that's immediately when I thought about this line of controllers. It was like Forza, like kind of the Forza editions, but they're not the Forza editions, but they look like kind of like they would release with the Forza consoles or something.
Yeah, I do like these. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're a little bit less. I don't want to say impressive. They are impressive, but a little bit less like cool to me because I've seen a lot of these similar designs. Because Xbox has the Xbox Design Lab, where you can kind of customize your entire controller. You can make like the shoulder buttons different colors or metallic, or you can put grips on them. There's so many cool things you can do with it. I guess it's down right now, and they're going to be like updating it for more features, probably for this new controller that has the capture button. But so this is the one that came out a couple months ago. I have this. I got 2 of these for the boys, and then they just announced, I believe today, this red one. So the blue one, a lot of people call the Sonic controller because it's got that Sonic blue, you know.
It's Mario.
Yeah, it's called the Shock Blue controller. This one, all right, you say it's Mario Red. This is the Pulse Red controller, they call it. I just looking at it, you know what I'm seeing though? As we've got the Sonic Blue, this looks like Knuckles Red to me. It's like the Sonic and Knuckles controllers.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know, I personally, I'm gonna get one of these absolutely, and then once I get it, I'll probably update our little cartoon, so I'll be holding that one instead. I personally wish the back was black. I think red and black look a little better.
I told you I like the blue more, and I think I lied to you, bro. Now that I'm looking at the red again, whoo, that red looks good on the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. You know, we got blue and red. Guess what's coming next, man?
TheGreenSween.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a TheGreenSween controller coming. And I can see it now. Man. White on the back with a bright green, a little Luigi green, if you will.
It's Halo's 20th anniversary. We're going to see Halo Infinite this year, chances are. I don't know if it's going to be later in the year, but we're thinking that. But, man, I would love to see what they're going to do with the controller for Halo.
Yeah.
I love Halo. You know what I mean? That's a game that got me on the original Xbox, Halo 1, Halo 2. The LAN parties, all of it. It was a good time, you know?
I know some people that still play Halo 2 online through X-Link Kai on their computers.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't thought of that in a while. But, moving on. We've got, I just mentioned Jez Corden and Windows Central. This is what comes up. One of their stories that he shared today. Jez has been, what do you call it? Like, kind of criticizing Microsoft for a while about their language support and accessibility features, and he's always commending them when they do anything very well. So this article he posted, he wrote, it's Gears Tactics has like 11, I think, supported languages, and it's in the storefront that it tells you that. You can click on it and it'll tell you what languages and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, just like Jez, like if you're gonna call out any company when they do something wrong, you have to call them out when they do something good too. And I think this is right. I think we need to see more of this, more games supporting more languages, more games with accessibility features. We gotta make it easier for everyone to play. Gaming is like the great uniter, you know. People from all walks of life can enjoy video games, and it's always nice to see anything that helps, especially localization. You know, I remember when I was a kid, you pretty much couldn't play a game from another country unless you were very fluent in another language. So localization is always something that I like to see.
Yeah, and, you know, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just, it's something I'm happy to see happening right now. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you know, it's really interesting that you brought up this article, because I wasn't going to talk about the Nintendo Store controversy, but I am going to talk about it because I think this is a problem, and I don't like what Nintendo did on this move. And like I said, listen, you know, this is my favorite console, and I'm not afraid to point out and criticize. So this wasn't confirmed until recently, but this has kind of been rumored, and it has been confirmed now by a couple developers that, do you remember, you've looked at the Nintendo eShop before, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Times. Okay, so have you ever noticed when you go to the featured games or the best sellers, sometimes you'll see a game that's a penny, and it's like in the top.
Yeah, I saw this. There's like, they're not allowing you to sell games for less than a certain price, right?
$1.99. And I don't like this, dude, because this was a good way for these like low budget games to lower their game to a penny. You're basically giving people a free game. It's like, okay, I'll give this game a shot. And now you're putting it up there with the names of like Nintendo games, and people are going to see that and at least give it a shot. And like, the worst comes to worst, you're letting this developer get their game out there. And, you know, I played this game that was, it's corny. It's called Bouncy Bob. I bought it for a penny, and I had nothing to lose. And I put like an hour into it. You know, who cares? It was a penny. Like, let the developers sell their game for the price they want to. It's not like it's a game that you're profiting off of majorly, Nintendo.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know if this is still in place. I would have to reach out to someone like Jez to find out. But Xbox had something similar with the 360 and the Xbox arcade titles, where there was a minimum price and like a certain amount of achievements that they were allowed. And a lot of people threw a fit back then, and that's, you know, you're talking 2005 or 6, where people were livid that companies were being told what they could charge for their games. Like, dude, if you want to give me a game for free, you should have the right to give me a game for free. If you want to charge me $1, you made that game. I didn't make that game. Microsoft didn't make that game. Nintendo didn't make that game. They don't have the right to tell you how much it's supposed to cost.
But why can I download a free game, but I can't buy a game for a penny? That's, you know, like,
I mean, I would assume that there's probably financial implications in the background that we don't know about because we're not involved in that. But the simplest answer, I would say, is probably the top paid games. When you put it in for a penny, it's probably gonna like usurp some of the top games that Nintendo and its partners don't want being seen. That you know, someone, you know, they dropped Animal Crossing, and then Bouncy Bob is the top selling game. Like, what the heck?
I could see that.
I don't agree with it though. Like, we're not stupid. We know that a game for a penny is gonna sell better than a game for $60.
Right, and we know we're not going to get the quality of the $60 game. People are aware of that.
I mean, if you've got a game that's $60 and I've got a game that's a penny, for the price of one copy of your game, I can sell like, what, 6,000?
Listen, the thing I love the most about my Switch is just the amount of games that I play on it, man. And I understand I could do it on Xbox with the Game Pass. Xbox gives you opportunities. I just never dove into it like that. I always get hooked on one multiplayer game, and that's just how it is on Xbox. I get too caught up with my friend groups.
Well, we're going to get you hooked on Monster Hunter World.
I'm ready to play some with you, man. See, I'll hop on Monster Hunter World. I'll play a couple, you know, rounds of it, get the feel for it, and
get hooked.
But that's it. I'm not playing any other games on the Xbox for now until the Clancy gets the update.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I've got. We ran about a half hour longer than we said we were going to.
That's what we do best.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm about to get off. And there were some additions to Game Pass this week. Actually, on my birthday, they added Pro Evolution Soccer 2021 Seasons Update January 7th. Injustice 2. You know me, I love NetherRealm Studios. I think they're the best fighting game developer in the world right now. And I know you're going to be like, no, Smash. Smash is great, but I don't really consider Smash a fighting game per se. It's got like its own little category of brawler for me. You know, fighting games to me are like one-on-one Mortal Kombat style. So the guys that pioneered Mortal Kombat, and they kind of rebuilt the way it works with Mortal Kombat 9 and like the story that you play through that you could cut all the fights out of and make like a 2-hour movie. And then they did it again with Injustice and Mortal Kombat 10 and Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11. While Injustice 2 is now in Game Pass, and it's better than every single DC Extended Universe film that's come out. So, guys, if you have Game Pass and you haven't played Injustice 2 yet, download it, give it a go, run through the story. It's awesome. If you're at all a comic book fan, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. If you're really terrible at fighting video games and you still want to enjoy it, I'm sure someone on YouTube has a complete playthrough with just the cutscenes, so check it out.
Nice.
We also got The Little Acre. I don't know about this game. It's on the list. Came out on my birthday. I will check it out and see whether or not it's worth recommending. It's on Game Pass, though, so look at it, and if it looks even remotely interesting, give it a shot if you have Game Pass already. I love Game Pass for that reason. You know, so many games that you might have been like, I don't want to spend money on that. Now you can try, and then you're like, you know what? That's worth the $10 it costs or the $5 it costs. Whatever, I'll get it. Later this month, we get Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remastered. I love that Microsoft has pushed to get the Yakuza series. It's always been like a glaring weakness in their lineup. You know, they already have Zero, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. And they have 7. I think Yakuza 7 is only on the Xbox for next gen right now. I don't think there is a PS5 version. So I'm looking forward to those. I've always wanted to dive into them. Maybe one of those ends up in my 11 games. There's enough of them. Maybe they all end up in my 11 games and I forget to play anything else.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of the month, we'll talk about this later this month because I'm actually pretty excited for it, but there's this game, The Medium. You might remember this from the first Xbox show. Not the first, not the May one that didn't have much, but the next one, the good show. I said the good show. It's like a dual reality game from Bloober Studios. A lot of people are rumoring that Microsoft might acquire Bloober. It's like a suspense horror game, and I guess the big premise of the game is that you're kind of like walking through the main world like you're seeing your guy in Monster Hunter right now on the screen. But at the same time, there's like a darker, evil world. Kind of like Zelda, the Light and the Dark world. And you can flip between them at will. You can just hit a button and suddenly the entire world changes. That's cool. It's an Xbox Series S and X and PC only title. You know, no Xbox One version, because it requires the high speed SSD to even, you know, run that dual world. It needs to be able to pretty much instantly load in however many gigabytes worth of textures, which cannot be done on an old style hard drive that loads at, you know, 50 to 100 megabytes a second. You need that 2400 megabytes or, you know, properly optimized 4800 megabytes a second that the new Xbox NVMe and, you know, good NVMe's on PCs give. Again, we're going to talk about that a lot more, you know, later in the month as it gets closer to coming out. And it'll probably end up a game that I have footage of when it drops. There's a couple removals as well, all January 15th. My Friend Pedro, I'm not familiar with that game. Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet. I don't personally like the Sword Art games. I'm not a big anime guy anymore. There's only a couple that I'll watch. But my kids play the Sword Art Online games, and they tell me they're solid. And then for fighting game fans, Tekken 7, January 15th. That's gone. Actually, January 15th ties into Call of Duty, if you want to go back to that for a second. 115 is considered Zombies Day, because they were created from Element 115 in the zombie story. And gotcha. I guess we're supposed to see some sort of zombies announcement on that date. I don't want to tell you what it is. I think it's going to be the first look at the map that's coming with Season 2. But they have like teased Tombstone the perk from Black Ops 2 coming back. So maybe it could be other stuff, but I do think it'll be the map. Look forward to that on 115 day.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to go over before we cut this, man?
Just tune in next week. We're gonna talk about giveaways. We're gonna talk about Bowser's Fury, and me and Red Cloud Gamer are gonna do a Monster Hunter Rise segment where we fight a bear with our bare hands. So definitely be looking forward to that.
He's gonna fight a bear, and I'm gonna cheer him on, clapping with my bare hands.
He's gonna be the healer of the group. Yeah. I'm gonna be the tank. Yeah, no, that's fair.
So I'm bringing up on the screen right now the mini web tool. You should be able to see it. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got this. I set this up earlier. These are the people that retweeted, commented, and followed me. There are a couple people that didn't follow the Twitter. My Red Cloud Gamer Twitter that's on the screen. So to be involved in the giveaways, you have to follow my Twitter account. I'm trying to do my best to give back to the community, but also grow my brand. I don't anticipate being some wildly successful streamer. I just want to find, a couple dozen like-minded people that want to watch regularly, maybe come on as guest hosts or, chat and play some games together. That's really my goal. And the best way to do that is to reach as many people as I can. So, I'm going to pick a random name from these. It's going. And it looks like the winner is 8 Pelham. 8 Pelham? 8 Pelham?
8 Pelham.
All right. I will be reaching out to you. You'll probably actually be reached out to before this goes live on YouTube. But you are mentioned on my YouTube, and your name is there. There we go. I guess that's going to be the end of it. So, Red Cloud Gamer signing off. GreenSween, you want to get out of here?
Congratulations to 8 Pelham. And yeah, good talking to you about some video games. And can't wait to talk next week. Can't wait to kick it off with some Bowser's Fury tomorrow and talk to you about that, man.
Word.
Alrighty, brother.